Okay, now I'm gonna start. Happy Monday, everyone. I'll be having a quick look at the validation and invalidation levels for BTC and ETH today, because there is some contradictory information in the charts between the 1 day and the 4-hour time frames, and we need to see where we're heading and what do we need to look out for in terms of direction, because that's the most important thing. What is the trend, and is the trend changing? Now, on the daily time frame, we have the stochastic turned up on the BTC chart, and we have a MACD that is showing decreasing difference in selling. So this MACD usually signifies a reversal is going to come. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to come straight away. We could still be doing our 44K correction and then reversing. Now, as you can see here in this very immediate swing, starting in March 2023, we've only done a 382 correction. This is very, very small in terms of correcting waves. I think at least a 0.5, 24.5 is quite conservative. But we have been in the sideways for a long time, about a month, 16th of April. Yeah, 16th, 17th of April, in the same space, slightly going down and then slightly moving a little bit up. But haven't gained any daily support on the 50, 55 or the 20 EMA. That would be significant for reversal. So what do we need to see in terms of the reversal? We need to see something along the lines of what happened here and what happened here. We can see that we got rejected here and here and here in the bear run, and if this is the turn for the bull run, we need to continue above the 55 EMA, above the 20 EMA, and then we're gonna continue reversing to the upside. So what is the pathway for validation and invalidation? I'm going to be quite quick and quite succinct today, because I keep telling you about these levels, and I keep repeating them daily on the charts, on the chats, sorry. So there's no point in telling you what you already know. But if we're looking at what happened here, we had 1, 2, 3 days. In 3 days, we gained the support of the 20 and then moved up above the 55. The situation here was slightly different, because the 20 was below the 55 EMA. Now, 3 days, we're holding both of them. We're continuing to the upside. It was the same here. We had 1, 2, 3 days. 4th and 5th held the level, so it took about 5 days to get above the 55, get above the 20 to hold them, and then we continued to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher highs to the upside. So they were all in the same range, which again is quite it's quite suspicious, and it's showing signs of weakness in this lift, in my opinion. But this is what we need to see in order to continue to the upside and hit the 32 and I would say 35K threshold. So if we continue to break and consolidate and break and consolidate, and then we move up to 35, 36. So this would be the pathway for validation to the upside. And again, we're looking at daily time frames, because that's where we are at the moment. It's the daily time frame coordinating the 4-hour, and the 4-hour is coordinating the 1 hour. So we've made 4-hour moves at this weekend, not just 1-hour moves. So we're at the moment, I think we are about 2% higher up. Now, what would be the invalidation? The invalidation, of course, is the breaking of the previous low, back testing, moving down, and we could be coming down to 23, 22 and still hold momentum. Now, it looks as if we don't want to go go there on the daily time frame. But the 4 hour is painting a different picture, because the 4 hour is looking quite exhausted in the stock reading. So this is the stock reading for the 4 hour. We have decreasing momentum on the stock, even though we've had a lift in the peaks. So here are the peaks starting here, 1, 2, 3 peaks on the 4 hour, whereas the stock has been coming down. It hasn't yet come down, and it's meeting the resistance of the 55. So that's the contradiction between the momentum reading that I can see today. And again, I'm keeping this short and sweet, because I will be updating you on a daily basis in terms of where we're going, but there's not much to say at the moment. The weekly stock is still coming down, so it would be in line with the 4 hour, and that would be confirming my thoughts that we are going to come down to at least the 24.5 K region to do a 0.5 correction. So that's what we need. This is what's sustainable. I did have a nice trade at the weekend. I got stop lossed out because I had my stop on my stop loss from around here to secure profit, and I was quite stubborn about closing it when we bottomed here, and then here we failed to do a second lower low on the 4 hour, and I didn't want to close it because the 4 hour was topping out, so it was looking great for reversal, and my target had been the 800 EMA on the 4 hour. We didn't get there, but I still closed at a profit, which is quite good. Same thing happened on ETH. I'm going to start from the bigger to the smaller picture. Here was my stop loss. It was stop loss out. I had the same target strategy, the 800 EMA on the 4 hour. I didn't close it because it was looking like it had topped out. Like, look at this, topping out, and then there it goes, boom, and collects my liquidity from there. Well, it's not my liquidity because I'm still closing at a profit. My entry was up here, my stop loss was down here, but I did lose about 50% of the profit in this trade, waiting for this lower low and this 800 EMA. But again, I think in such cases where the stochastic is indicating further continuation, it's worth keeping it for this target. I still believe that we're gonna continue downwards. I still believe that New York is going to head down, but I don't yet have that confirmation. All I'm having at the moment is what looks like a topping out formation on the 4 hour, but you know, I like to wait for that initial 1 hour settling into the New York session to take a position. We have the same situation on the daily time frame for ETH as well. There's not much to say. The 4 hour, you've seen the stochastic is maxed out. The weekly is heading down. The MACD seems to be heading down as well. We have decreasing buying volumes here, but the daily is heading up, so we could have another spike up to the levels of resistance 21.5, another maybe higher high, if of course the same levels of validation and invalidation, and I will be bending in your ears, bending your eyes on the chats, because I have my very minimalist way of doing TA, and it keeps my mind nice and clear and simple. We go up above the 20, we back test, we continue, and we lift. So that's the pathway. The validation is holding the 20 on the daily, is the validation for reversal to the upside on the daily. The invalidation is, of course, we break down, we back test, we continue down. And my level for the daily swing is 15. 15. It always annoys me when the pathway does that. Sorry. My level is 1570, and I'll show you why that is. There is a very important trend line here, and if we are to look at the fib retracement, and again I am taking a small swing. I'm not taking the big swing. Even on the small swing, it is the level between the 702 and the 786 retracement, perfectly natural and normal as a retracement level. For continuation, we can still continue lifting out of the bear market, no problem with that. In terms of our resistance, I've showed you we have a divergence between the stochastic momentum and the recent lift that we saw over the weekend. We have the 1960 as resistance and the 1770 as support, and here we were looking great for continuation into this space. We didn't get to 1650. We didn't get to my target either, the 800 EMA on the 4 hour, which is a pity, but these things happen. We are in highly manipulated sideways formations. Just to that would be my final idea. Mind yourselves in this market. Don't do more than 5% stop losses. Look at these vector candles on the 4 hour, and I'm gonna swap over to the daily. So we do seem to have the 200 EMA on the daily. That would be great for a backtest 1690, a little bit lower than the 200 EMA on the 4 hour, and we do have this pin on the 50 EMA on the daily, which again would be followed by another red vector candle technically. But if we're looking at the 4 hour, what's happened here is buyers vectors, sellers vectors, buyers vectors, stop volume pin here, blue at the top of the swing. It should generally signal that we are done with the lift and we're going to come down, but I'll be waiting for the formation at the start of the New York session. We have the same situation on the BTC chart. We have a blue pin here showing that we have finished lifting, but we haven't yet had any breakdown confirmation yet, and I will be waiting for the start of the session because that's where generally a lot of games are played. And if we're looking at the daily vectors as well, we have a couple of vector candles here that haven't yet been recovered around the 22K area, and I do anticipate a backtest of the 200 EMA. This is the one that it bounced off in the previous swing, and it is a 24.8. So again, you can see why I held my target at the 25.4 area. It is a target to be expected. So just to sum it all up, mind the 20 EMA on the daily. The 20 EMA on the daily is now my bigger picture validation level for a reversal of direction to the upside. If we manage to continue today above the psychological levels, that means that we are looking at continuing the week above the psychological levels. So we might see and the push down, but if these psychological high, psychological low, ETH is above them, and I believe BTC is above them too. So if we are holding at the end of today the psychological levels for support, it's likely that the week will reverse and we will start heading up. So I will be trading accordingly. You might see me posting a long position because we are holding the psychological levels. So if we hold the psychological levels at the end of today, we are likely to break that 20 for validation, 20 EMA for validation on the daily and start heading up. Of course, the opposite is true. If we break the psychological levels and we hold below them at the start of today and we start tomorrow, especially New York session is my confirmation. It's the one that seals the deal for me. If we start the session and the first hour backtest the psychological levels and hold them as resistance, we're going to continue below them. So I'm having a point of I'm having a couple of reference points that I will talk about in the chat. We are in between a shift in direction or continuation in direction. So Continuation would mean we're breaking below the 55 and we are going to continue lower on the daily. So we've just backtested the 55, we break the previous low, we continue lower, or we break above the 55, above the 20, and we continue higher. So these are things to be watching. Other than that, no other news. We're in the same kind of levels. I don't have any positions open at the moment. I don't think there are any 4-hour positions to be opened right now. I think we need to be patient and wait to see what New York is going to do. Thank you guys for today and have a wonderful week.